Okay, because the Samsung TV only has two HDMI inputs, we're having to use a switcher to help out with all the devices. So here's how this works. First of all, we have everything clearly labeled. So if we want to go to the Blu-ray player, we need to put the TV source on HDMI 2. So we're going to hit our remote, our Samsung TV remote, and we're going to press the source button, and we're going to set it to HDMI 2, and that will give us the Blu-ray player right there. Alright? Now, if we want the Wii, then we need to have our TV source set to AV gain. So again, we're going to use our Samsung TV remote. We're going to hit the source button, and we're going to set it to AV gain. And again, that gives us the Wii, which is coming in by component cable. Now, for everything else, which is the Xbox, cable television, and the Apple TV, we're using this switcher or splitter. And so we want to set the TV source to HDMI 1. That puts us on the switcher. Now, if we want the Xbox, it's labeled Xbox Switcher 1. So we're going to make sure and press our little select button here. And we're going to make sure that the number 1 light is lit. That will give us the Xbox, which you can see is going through a reboot at the moment. If we want the Apple TV, it's labeled Switcher 3. So again, we make sure our TV source is HDMI 1, which we've already set. And we're going to set our switcher by pressing the select button down to number 3. And that will give us the Apple TV. And we need to use the Apple TV remote, that's the little silver one, to control it. And once I hit the button, it may take it a second, but it should go ahead and wake up. Okay, so the Apple TV works really well, especially for bringing in the content. But like any other device, it's a little miniature computer. All right, and so sometimes you may need to restart it, just for various reasons, especially if your password changes or something like that. So if you have to restart it, we're going to use the silver Apple remote. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to have to point it down here at the Apple TV, or at the Apple TV box. And we're going to arrow over and down to Settings. And I'm going to click into Settings. And we're going to go into General. So I'm going to click into General. And it's set to automatically update, but every now and then you may have to tell it to restart. It's kind of like rebooting a computer. You shouldn't have to do that very much, but every now and then you might. You don't want to do the reset unless there's no other option, because we'll have to rejoin it to the network and all that. So again, you go down to restart, and that's simply going to reboot the machine. Now, I'm not going to do it right now because we don't need to. So I'm going to hit my menu and menu button again, and just bring myself back up to the main menu. And that's pretty much how it works. Now, if you rent or purchase movies downstairs on the Apple TV downstairs, they will also show up here. So as you can see, we have Frozen and Hugo that are showing up here because they were purchased on the other Apple TV, but of course it's through the same iTunes and Apple account, so they show up here as well. So you can watch them in either location. Okay, to control the DVD or Blu-ray player, which is also a Samsung device, we have a second remote that looks like the TV remote, but it's clearly labeled Control for Blu-ray. So you want to make sure that if you're playing a DVD or Blu-ray that you use this remote. Even though we have Netflix on the remote for the Blu-ray player, we're using Netflix through the Apple TV, not through the Blu-ray player. So just keep that in mind.